Here's what's coming up on your horizon. What began as just the desire to help Oklahoma youth develop their artistic talents has become an annual summer haven for young people interested in the arts. This week on Oklahoma Horizon, we begin our show with a trip to Quartz Mountain Lodge to see how the Oklahoma Arts Institute is teaching teachers in arts education.
We're trying to figure out ways that we can weave it in meaningfully. Because realistically, we know we don't have kids who are going to be future artists. I mean, maybe a handful, but you're trying to figure out a way where this can be a lifelong thread in someone's life.
Austin Morrill looks at the growth in filmmaking in Oklahoma.
Films, televisions, commercials, music videos, all of that is helping grow our industry.
And we end our day in the classroom where some stars are being born. Stay with us for Oklahoma Horizon.
Oklahoma Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education.
Oklahoma's investment in career tech provides more than nationally recognized technology education and training. It produces solid financial returns for the state's economic future. Oklahoma Career Tech, elevating our economy.
And the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. And now, from the Career Tech Studios in Stillwater, here's your host, Rob McClendon.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us here on Horizon. Well, in true artistic fashion, Oklahoma's Summer Arts Institute comes from humble beginnings. With just $5,000 and the dream of a summer camp for the arts, in 1977, a group of civic leaders began what has become one of the country's premier arts academies. Creative minds from across the state come each summer to Quartz Mountain Lodge in Lone Wolf, Oklahoma to express and develop their artistic talent. Talent that is nurtured throughout the year by their school teachers. And each year, these same teachers have the opportunity to spend a long autumn weekend to find their own inspiration for the classroom. Blaine Singletary has our story.
Picturesque Quartz Mountain State Park in southwestern Oklahoma. Surrounded by nature and inspiration everywhere you look, it's seen by some as the ultimate creative hideaway.
When you pull over the hill and come into the mountains and see the lake and see the Performing Arts Center, you know that you're kind of removed from the outside world.
That's Libby Sublett. She teaches music at the Riverfield Country Day School and is also a camp counselor for the Oklahoma Arts Institute's annual summer camp.
You're somewhere different and you're somewhere special, you're somewhere quiet, and you're somewhere that you can really focus on what you need to do here. And going back out into the world, you feel re-energized to do the work that you're called to do.
Since 1977, the summer sessions at Quartz Mountain have brought in the most promising young artists. For 2 weeks, these students get to hone their craft with some of the greatest artists in the world. But this fall weekend isn't about them. Today, their teachers are the ones getting down and dirty with arts and crafts. Teachers like Rebecca Lowber-Collins.
It's an amazing place where we all get to create art, learn something new, have something inspirational to take back with our kids. And it's for us as much as it is for them.
Oklahoma public school teachers, regardless of their subject, get to take part in this long weekend of workshops and activities free of charge, thanks to the State Department of Education as well as the Oklahoma Arts Council. On paper, it serves as an extra dose of professional development, which admittedly looks quite different compared to other professions, as Adrian Day of Blanchard Elementary explains.
It's specifically geared towards artists, and artists have unique needs for professional development, and this suits us perfectly.
In many ways, the teachers, no matter how experienced they are, become students while they're here, and get the opportunity to take part in artistic disciplines from the visual to performance arts.
They are really good at figuring out ways to nurture the creativity in every learner. Whether or not your entry point is, oh my gosh, I'm really nervous about this and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm here, or people who are studio artists.
Christina Pickard is an art teacher at Westminster, an independent school in Oklahoma City. When we spoke with her, she was taking part in a poetry collage project involving a lot of English instructors as well.
There are things that we take back. You know, like every workshop I've participated in, I'm taking things back. and I'm already trying to figure out how to take this wax back and what I'm going to be doing with the collage with my high school kids.
She's well within her area of expertise here, but she says even after years of experience, she still finds herself off the deep end sometimes.
I've had other workshops where I'm the one who's really nervous. Like when I've done workshops that involve music and dance, I can't carry a tune and I have 2 left feet, but they make everyone feel good.
In that sense, the Fall Academy at Quartz Mountain helps teachers walk a mile in their students' shoes. At the same time, they're working with other teachers, networking and trading ideas to bring back to the classroom.
Teaching is sort of a lonely profession. We've got a chance to work with the kids, but you're the only adult in the room. And so there are times when you can just feel depleted. And this is a chance to sort of fill up your tank.
We caught up with Pickard about a month later at Westminster School. Here, just like at Quartz Mountain, the arts are alive and well. The halls were adorned with student artwork, and they were all working hard on these contraptions.
Today in class, we were actually finishing up our mini golf courses. So this was a project that was an integration project between math and art. If a ball rolls on an obstacle,
At Westminster, there's a strong emphasis on getting students thinking individually and working together. The teachers are really setting a strong example of that with projects like these that cross subject lines.
When they were in math, they were working mostly with graph paper. So they were thinking in terms of like a blueprint. The goal for the 5th grade team was thinking about this, I guess, from 2 prongs, right? Thinking about it mathematically and thinking about it aesthetically.
Pickard says through these types of art activities, these kids are gaining skills that can't exactly be tested. These non-cognitive skills can often be forgotten when it comes to teaching to the standardized test, but she says they're just as much, if not more, important.
And those are the skills that have to do with perseverance and tenacity, or focus, getting along, cooperation, collaboration, all of those things that sometimes in our workplace as adults we take for granted.
Then the ball will come through here.
Pickard says this is why getting arts in the classroom is important, and not just for students who want to be artists.
We're trying to figure out ways that we can weave it in meaningfully. Because realistically, we know we don't have kids who are going to be future artists. I mean, maybe a handful, but you're trying to figure out a way where this can be a lifelong thread in someone's life and maybe help give meaning to someone's life.
And she's looking no further than her time at Quartz Mountain for great ways to do that. Remember that poetry collage project?
In the springtime, the 5th graders here are going to be heading into a unit on poetry. And I thought, okay, this is going to be a good way for us to lead into that. So I've never tried it. And the idea of a lot of 10-year-olds with a big pot of hot wax is vaguely alarming.
But another thing students are encouraged to do here is make mistakes. Even if this project doesn't pan out, the fact that they try to do it is most important at the end of the day. And putting all these educational and developmental benefits aside, having the arts in the classroom is just fun.
School should be fun. I mean, it should be hard work, but it should also be fun. It should be a place where kids look forward to going. So it's really important for them to be able to have a chance to coalesce and bring together all of the knowledge that they have. They like it.
Now, when we return, my conversation with the executive director of the Oklahoma Arts Institute, Julie Cohen.
You're watching Oklahoma Horizon, featuring some of the good things that are happening in the great state of Oklahoma.
Well, with a law degree from Tulane, Julie Cohen's career has taken her from Capitol Hill to Wall Street. But it is her love of the arts that's helped Julie guide the Oklahoma Summer Arts Institute since 2007. I sat down with her during a break at this fall's arts workshop.
As far as the teachers go, there are very few opportunities for professional development in the arts, and they tell us that this is better than any other professional development they get. So they need this. They're arts educators, and they don't have a place to go to get that. Now for the students, you know, we've been cutting budgets around the state, and they don't always have the opportunity to study the arts in their school. So this is where they can come really work on their music, their dance, drawing and painting, film. They come here for that intensive period of time, and it really changes their lives.
Something Julie knows firsthand.
I loved photography in high school, and that was one of the few things I really connected with in high school. And a teacher of mine told me about this program at Quartz Mountain, and I had no idea where Quartz Mountain was. I was from Tulsa, had no idea what the program was, but he said, you need to submit your portfolio. I got accepted, and I drove across the state to Quartz Mountain, where I studied with this French photographer who's really well-known, an amazing teacher. And it just helped me find people who were interested in what I was interested in. It made me know that, just because you're interested in the arts and not all the kids in your school are, doesn't mean you're a weirdo, or, it helped me kind of grow in that way. So it was pretty life-changing.
Yeah, is it really a cool thing to be able to see that light come on when some of the students come here?
Yes, one of the things we do best is give students a nurturing environment where they can take some risks in their art form and learn this is what they really love to do, and they love being around other students who love that. So we get students from every corner of the state, and especially those kids coming from really small towns. They may be the only kid in their school who cares about photography or film or dance, and then they get here and they just can share that with other students, and they make these connections with others across the state that they keep forever. I mean, I run into the kids throughout the year, and they're often getting together at gallery openings in Oklahoma City, or because they've found that common interest.
Let's look at the broader issue of the arts in our schools. We talk so much now about science, technology, engineering, mathematics, the STEM subjects, and the importance of students studying them. But there's also a new push to put an A in there for the arts.
Right, STEAM. We want to see more of that. There's a lot of research out there that these things go hand in hand. Math and the arts, and a lot of those students benefit from introducing arts into their curriculum. It helps with all of their studies. One of the things we try to do in the Fall Arts Institute with our educators is give them an opportunity to learn how to integrate the arts in their classroom. So that this weekend, for instance, we have a class in collage and poetry. And so it's a way of integrating arts with English. And that way they can maybe connect with the kids who aren't, or maybe they're having trouble in English, but if you create an artistic component to that class, they might be able to connect with it a little more.
All at no cost to students or teachers, thanks to a public-private partnership.
I just feel like I have the greatest job in the world to be able to help provide this opportunity to Oklahoma's really talented students who otherwise would never get to study with people at this really high level. And we see over and over just how it's really impacted lives across the state. And I just think it's one of the most special things that Oklahoma has going for it. There's nothing like it in the rest of the country, and especially that full scholarship aspect. It really sets us apart from other states, and I think it's a real gem.
Now, auditions for the Summer Arts Institute are held across the state from January through March, and you can find an application on their website, which we do have a link to under this story at okhorizon.com.
Still to come on Oklahoma Horizon. Lights, camera,
action
in the classroom. But first, Oklahoma filmmaking.
Well, film is one of the more collaborative art forms, often requiring a broad spectrum of disciplines, including writing, acting, music, and visual design, just to name a few. And it's an industry that's in search of people with just those skills right here in Oklahoma. Our Austin Moore takes a look at what's driving that growth.
Movies. They make us laugh.
He hates these cans! Stay away from the cans!
Dad?
They make us cry.
Dad, come on. You gotta get up. Dad.
They put our fears front and center. and they remind us of the greatness to which we aspire.
Now, we all have our favorite movie, our favorite scene, our favorite actor. But for some, just watching isn't enough. They have to be a part of this collaborative art form.
You know, the level of intimacy between the people that work together as far as filmmakers and, you know, the directors that bring this whole thing together, they're really out to make it out for the people. And that's really cool to me.
I met student Russ McDonald during a panel discussion about the Oklahoma film industry at this year's Dead Center Film Festival.
I've always been passionate about the film industry. I actually got into Francis Tuttle to learn how to work with cameras and audio and learn how to master editing software so that I could, you know, hopefully be a part of all this.
And to listen to this panel, Russ is in the right state.
So we were really solid about shooting here. I've done a lot of location films, and I know how much production value you get from being in the actual place, not only from locations, but from casting.
Director Maura Anderson is currently in post-production with her film, Heartland, shot entirely in Oklahoma.
Wouldn't it be safer where you are? Seems safer away from the window. You're fine. Dorothy never got in a tub.
Well, Dorothy wound up in Oz.
There's just no way to imitate it, really. I mean, we came out unscouted, and you just can't find that stuff, you know, in California or anywhere else. It's a gorgeous state.
They want to come to Oklahoma, and they want to shoot, they want to film here because Oklahoma hasn't been seen as much as Louisiana or Georgia or other places.
Tavasovsky is the director of Oklahoma's Film and Music Office. Among her duties, administering the state's film incentive program.
If they shoot in the state of Oklahoma and have a minimum budget of $50,000 and a local spend of a minimum of $25,000, then they are eligible to utilize the 35% cash rebate.
Despite some controversy, the Oklahoma legislature recently renewed this incentive through 2024. Tavasovsky believes this is because of the broad impact film and television can have on a local economy.
People usually think, why should the state offer this cash rebate program if it's only going to affect the film community? But there's so much more to it. There's that whole multiplier effect for, you know, caterers and bakers and seamstresses and so forth. So I think that it's important for people to know that for them to work in this industry, if you anything that you love to do, style hair, apply makeup, that there's something for them. And so films, televisions, commercials, music videos, all of that is helping grow our industry.
Grow strong enough that Tulsa has now added its own office of film, music, arts, and culture. Abby Curran is the director.
People are drawn to cities with a strong arts and culture scene. When you leave the office, what do? You want to go visit a museum. You want to see a great exhibit. You're going to go see a band at a venue. Not only is that economic development in terms of job creation, but it's also a culture of life, and it lets people not only love your city, but want to stay there too.
You got them big dreams, don't you, boy? Ain't nothing funnier than a boy in his dreams. You'll figure that out soon enough.
Another film screened at Dead Center was Hollis, directed by Oklahoma City's Sonny Priest.
Hollis, you ever want to leave?
I like here. Better than hospital, I like here.
Our funding was Oklahoma, our actors were Oklahoma, our music was Oklahoma, our whole crew is from Oklahoma. This is an Oklahoma movie by Oklahomans for Oklahomans.
Do you feel encouraged by the environment that we have here in Oklahoma City and then across the state really as a whole?
Absolutely. As Oklahoma filmmakers, we are very encouraged by Oklahoma taxpayers and politicians getting in line and saying, hey, we care about the arts. We care about not only the arts, but we know that it's hard to get these things done. So they say that there's actually a 6 times multiplier on film rebates. So every time you spend $1 on a film, you get that back 6 times in the community through taxes, through just services and everything like that. Our film's all Oklahoma. We spent all of our money in Oklahoma. So all the money we spent on it there's no telling how much actual revenue is grossed for the city, for the state, through taxes, through people beyond just our film.
But more than simply revenue, this industry is creating opportunity for those with inspiration and ambition.
My plan is to be like the next Walt Disney if I can. Making the dreams and imaginations of other people come to life is what it's all about.
And that's the stuff movies are made of.
Now, if you'd like to learn more about filmmaking in the state, Oklahoma's Film and Music Office does a great job with regular email blasts about all the latest work and happenings going on all across Oklahoma, plus some sneak peeks at upcoming projects. Now, to see that, plus the film office's latest locations reel, which incidentally is a great example of just some of the beauty Oklahoma has to offer, just head to our value-added section of our website where I have links to both. Want to share something you've seen here today? Well, all of our episodes are streaming on our YouTube channel at Oklahoma Horizon TV, or you can subscribe to our weekly free podcasts on iTunes. One of the teachers attending this year's Fall Arts Institute for Teachers is an instructor at Francis Tuttle Technology Center. So we decided to go and visit their class. Joining me now is our Courtney May.
Well, it's a broadcast and video production class that's already landing professional gigs. And the class's work is so impressive, one internationally recognized company is placing some of its video work in the hands of these Francis Tuttle students.
And whenever you're ready.
Lights, camera,
action.
Hi, and welcome to
Students in Francis Tuttle's broadcast and video production class are learning the art of directing,
Say it wrong and then react.
Okay.
script writing, and last-minute touch-ups that go into broadcasting.
All right, I'll whip it up for you ladies.
This program is nothing like I've ever seen before. I have that background in video, and I had to go to college to get that, to get the information that these students get in a program that they can complete inside of a year or two.
And this broadcasting class is producing fun educational videos for Kimray, a worldwide oil-filled manufacturing company.
We're called upon by outside companies to actually come and help them in their production pieces. So it gives them the experience of not only shooting, but to edit those down into packages and working with customers.
And this customer is Katrina Castle, Kimray's Wellness Engagement Coordinator.
So we may have to edit it down. It just happened to mesh that what we were needing, they could help us do, and that would in turn help them with their projects as well.
And one student's name will roll through the credits more than once. Cameron Becker's creative script writing landed him the job of director as well. And he says he feels right at home.
My team and I decided that I should direct for this part of our project. And I mean, I have experience with leadership already because I used to be in the Army. So it actually was kind of natural for me to step into a leadership role. Girls!
And it's an opportunity that's giving Becker a glimpse at his broadcasting career.
Okay, let's cut. All right, what do you want? I am really excited that they reached out to us in the first place, and then I got to be a part of it. That I got to actually sit here and help them in something that's really big.
After this short-term program, students like Becker have the opportunity to land entry-level jobs in all genres of broadcasting. And that is what instructor Salim is most proud of.
They have the opportunity to leave here and get employed. It's awesome. I sometimes wish the students understood what they have in front of them right here. And some of them do, and they take advantage of it, and that makes us excited here.
Okay. So let's move on to the next.
So what are some of the job opportunities these students will have upon completion of this class?
Well, anything from production to directing and even on-air talent. And it's a 2-year program, but when these students are done, they will have a lot of the same opportunities as people who completed a 4-year degree. And not only that, but instructor Salim says the program is making connections with broadcast professionals all across the state, and that alone has landed some students in the class internships.
All right, that sounds great. Thank you so much, Courtney.
You're welcome, Rob.
It's called STEM. Next time on Oklahoma Horizon, we look at a simple acronym for subjects that could determine our nation's future.
It's important for our future because it's about our prosperity as a state and about people being able to find a good paying career path in Oklahoma.
Science, technology, engineering, and math on Oklahoma Show Over the Heartland, Oklahoma Horizon. Thanks for including us as part of your day. I'm Rob McClendon. Hope to see you back here next week.
Horizon is made possible by the Oklahoma Department of Career and Technology Education and the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture, Food, and Forestry, helping good people grow good things. Thank you for watching Oklahoma Horizon.